Oh, guys, good, you're here. I am so excited. Guess what? I hope this isn't about your podcast again. Why, did you finally listen to it?
Before we start this podcast, let me invite you to subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, YouTube, or any podcaster. I'm such a cute. All right, everybody, quiet on the set. The groom next door, take one. To the audience, in 3, 2, 1. Action! And he is your host, my mommy and daddy, Chris and Stella Green.
Hello, pups and kittens, and welcome to the Groomer Next Door, episode 113, and the very first ever podcast recorded by us out of state. I'm your co-host, Chris Green. Sitting next to me is my travel companion and dog enthusiast, Sarah.
Hello.
Well, we are right now sitting in St. Clair, Illinois, and I'll get to the reason why we're in Illinois in a little bit, but really, this all transpired very quickly within a 24-hour. And like I said, we'll dive into this in just a moment. A good feeling today, great feeling. If you've been following us on our Facebook page, you've been kind of seeing this. I'm going to give, we're going to kind of have a little bit of an extended show. I don't know if it's going to be a multi kind of location.
Might have to be. It's a little colder than I expected.
And we wanted to actually do it here in St. Clair, considering the reasons why we're in St. Clair. We wanted to do a little bit of the show from here. And it is nice to have a mobile podcast where we're able to, do a show from anywhere that we want to. That's really fun. So, and plus we've never, like you said, never did one out of state. So without further ado, I'm going to actually kind of modify this week's weekly roundup to the story of why we're here. So let's dive into the weekly roundup.
The weekly roundup, yeah.
Alright, so as I said, our weekly roundup is going to be a little bit different this week. Instead of talking about what happened at the shop, we're going to talk about what happened at the shop yesterday that brought us to St. Clair, Illinois. So I'm going to, without saying anything else, summarize what happened yesterday.
Well,
and when I say Friday, I say yesterday. That was Friday.
Yeah. Friday was a very difficult day in general. Our two Cocker Spaniels that come in and see us all the time were having a bit of a difficulty because their whole world has been turned upside down for right now. They have contractors in their house. The mom is gone. The dad's there working on the farm while strangers keep coming in their house replacing the floors. So the dogs have been just absolutely, what do they call it, stressed.
Or discombobulated. But anyways, how do we get here?
Well, hold on. It's a story, okay? So in the middle of this extremely hard day, I get this email. And the email pops up. It was
No, you say in the middle of the day. It happened in the early morning.
No, it was close to the middle.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Was it later?
It was right in the middle of me grooming, so it was in the middle of the day.
I thought it was a lot sooner than that.
No.
Okay.
So right in the middle of this very difficult day, very challenging day, get this email from Jewel, one of the board members of PCAWL, Phelps County Animal Welfare League, and she said that there was a plea for someone to help out this mama dog and her puppies. And I asked, okay, well, what's going on? She said, well, the pups have to get from Rolla, Missouri to this place out in Illinois, or this is St. Louis at the time.
Yeah, well, it's St. Louis.
And I said, okay, let me see what I can do. Honey, you want to go to St. Louis tomorrow? And he's like, not really. I want to sit on the couch.
Yeah, that's right.
We've had such a bad week.
We're not even going to go into how bad the week was. It was just terrible.
It was bad.
Unlike last week where, we were like, it was great, walking on
Everything
water.
was perfect.
Yeah, this week was not.
So, he was like, I just want to Netflix and chill.
Well, and that meant I want to actually watch Netflix and chill
out. So, and I kept, bumping my elbow, honey, let's go to St. Louis tomorrow.
It didn't take long, though. Once you told me the story, it didn't take me long to jump on and say, yup.
So, I told Jewel, I said, we have an escape. We have a pretty big back end. Get it? And as long as the mama dog isn't aggressive, we can fit her in the back with her puppies loose. They don't have to be in a crate because it's nice and concealed there in the back. So we kind of went back and forth for a good 20 minutes.
Well, we were trying to figure out the size of the dogs. She was an actual, pit mix, and we had 9 puppies. Well, pictures do not explain how big a puppy is, and I've never ate while I've actually done a podcast. This is weird.
Oh, rude.
Sorry.
But we had a picture of a pile of puppies, and we had a
with
picture of
no
Mama Dog.
idea how big those puppies were.
And so we went out into the middle of nowhere, which I know Missouri's a lot of middle of nowheres, and to these people it probably is just normal, but to us, since we're not used to driving, a half a mile to get to our next neighbor. So it's extremely difficult to find this place. Plus, GPS never works right.
Well, what happened to me when we were picking up the dogs last night? I put the GPS in, and it sent us 20 minutes out of our way into the wrong direction.
So not only did we go 20 minutes out of Rolla, we had to go 20 minutes back into Rolla, and then another 15 minutes on the other side of Rolla.
Yeah, that was bad. It was between Rolla and Salem. Is that Salem?
No.
What is that?
No, it's still Rolla.
But on its way too.
No.
Where is that?
I mean, if you were to continue to go even further, I guess you could hit Salem from there. Yeah, you would have.
Okay. I don't know where I'm at ever.
But anywho, we finally get there and we walk into this garage area, and it's freezing cold.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
And I see a mama dog and a bunch of babies piled on top of her.
On a futon.
One
of those futons to make into a couch.
But one thing good about you going out of your way and coming back is that we had a chance to stop at a gas station and pick up a beef stick for the mama.
Yep.
Because the dogs are just like men. Quickest way to the heart is through their stomach.
I'm eating a donut at Dunkin' Donuts right now, which is phenomenal, by the way.
So here we go with seeing Mama and seeing how she's going to react to everybody. Pulled off a piece of the beef stick and she gobbled that up real quick. Mama was hungry. Luckily she came back because the person who the dog, was on their property said, Mama's not here anymore. I don't know where she went.
Which would have put so many problems on us. I was like, no.
Pandora's box would have been opened. But I guess the story behind this dog and puppies, is that the mama dog wandered into a garage that had an opening, and she curled up right before she had her babies and had the babies on this futon. All the babies are healthy, as far as we can tell, and there was no babies that were, passed away.
Yeah, there was no problems. It seemed like she had a full litter with no complications.
Mama took care of them.
Mama took care of them.
Mama was a good mama. All the babies were fluffy, or pudgy.
Yeah, they had weight to them.
Yeah,
now, if you are watching this on YouTube, you are seeing the video of these puppies. You're seeing them nursing on Mama.
Countless pictures.
So, again, you can always listen to us on the go on iTunes and any podcatcher, but if you're watching us on YouTube, you're actually physically seeing these puppies right now. So, sorry, I have to explain this.
Puppies.
I have to explain this to Sarah because in front of her, she doesn't see this, but
I don't handle that.
I know.
Well, so we kept giving her some beef sticks, and I asked the lady if she lets us touch the babies, and she was, yeah, she's pretty cool. All right. So we decided to pick up one. I decided to pick up one of the babies while Chris had Mama in the loop.
I have her on a slip lead.
A slip lead, so that if she were to go for me, he can pull back.
Yeah. Talk about knowing how to handle things. I mean, definitely called the right people for the job.
Right. So Mama was just fine. She was like, "Hey, what's up?
Mm-hmm.
See my babies? These are my babies." But we were able to pick up all the pups and move it. Chris kept feeding her pieces of the beef stick, and just within a couple minutes, we're ready to put Mama in the truck.
There was a moment there that when you were moving the puppies into the car, there was a moment that was beyond gratifying. Yeah. And I was telling you this when we got in the car last night. She looked at me with this look, and for all of you who know how dogs can look at you, they have a look about them that speaks volumes. They don't have to have a voice. Their look almost has telepathy, I think is the word I'm trying to use here. But they...
Like a leopard?
No. She looked at me, and with her look, she just gave me this look like, thank you. You're saving me. You're saving my puppies.
Yeah.
And that's something...
And she's like, I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
I'm so hungry. But it was cool. Chris and her got a little bit of a bonding time while I was moving the pups. And then we were walking her out, or you were walking her out, and she just went absolutely to her cement.
Yeah,
post. She went laying straight down.
Rolled on
her side because she's a little too round to actually get to her back right now. I mean, you can see all her bones on her back and stuff. And
she was not only malnourished during this time, but she was still very weak from the pregnancy and what she went through.
Yeah, and she left the babies long enough to go get herself some food. I think it's got to be hard to fend for yourself like that. Normally, when you're in a pack, somebody brings you food. And she didn't have that pack to bring her food.
And what was really nice is that you could honestly see it in her look. It was like, I'm not going to be freezing in this garage. I'm not going to have to worry about food now. My babies are going to survive. I'm going to survive. And that was the takeaway immediately I had from it.
Yeah.
And she was, it was weird how she does the submit though.
Yeah, she did the submit. Well,
she
first she was crawling. Well, she was crawling on the ground, and that was scared submission.
Yeah.
That she has to submit or something bad is going to happen to her. And then when she finally just flopped on her side and wanted to go for a belly rub, and the entire time all of us were like, "No, honey, don't submit. You can walk. It's okay." So she started walking all right, and then got to the truck. You were able to pick her up pretty good.
Which I was a little surprised on this because I did not know her demeanor. And this is one thing, take it from a groomer's perspective. When you pick a dog up, and especially a nursing dog, there's tender areas. You have a very, obviously we don't bathe dogs that are nursing, but a dog that has the possibility of tenderness, you have to worry that they're going to nip at you. And she just let me pick her up, and I know that you probably some people might be saying this is impossible, but it felt like she helped me pick her up. Like she did everything she could to not have dead weight.
Right.
It was great.
It's like, I used to tell Claire, all right, 1, 2, 3, jump, and she would jump and I'd pick her up. Especially now, as big as she is. But
big girl.
She was too big to put in the crate with the puppies, so we put her in the back seat. And she was totally fine. She never once freaked out that her puppies were gone.
Right.
She could hear her puppies just fine, and she knew her puppies weren't hurting.
Right.
As we're driving back home, she was so comfortable to the point where she was putting...
This is what happens when you record outside.
She was so happy she put her chin on our center console and was watching us, enjoying the heat from the heater, because we made sure to keep the...
Oh, it was in the 20s last night, if not the teens. It was cold.
No, I think 20s, 30s maybe.
I don't think it was in the 30s. It was
really?
under that. Yeah, it was cold.
So we had the heater going full blast, because we got to make sure that the heat gets in the back for the pups. Even though it was only a 5-minute ride, but still. And Mama
the
was...
way I drive.
And Mama Dog was just happy to be there. She wanted to get on our laps. And I was like, no, honey, you can't. And boy, do you stink. Oh my gosh, she smelled so bad. I felt so bad for this little girl. I took a look at her teeth. and her canines are worn down pretty bad. So she was chewing at something to get through, probably some kind of wood or getting through a fence of some sort. So she's got some teeth that are either worn down or broke off and worn down. But she does not look a day over 3 years old.
I'd still go into 2.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if she went to a raw diet and she was out in the wilderness all her life, and she had only raw diet, then yeah, she would be about 3 or 4. But I don't know, she seemed like she was somebody's pet.
Just on a sidebar, the last time I was at a Dunkin' Donuts with Claire, she was attached to my chest in Chicago.
And a baby Bajorn.
And I was having, I think, the very same type of donut and
yeah,
coffee.
you were having a pink donut.
And that's why I picked it. I picked it for that reason. I was trying to reconnect. And the only time I actually ever get to go to Dunkin' Donuts is in Illinois. I don't know why. I don't know what that's about. But it's weird. I'm sitting here next to our 7-year-old who is now enjoying one with us.
And her chocolate milk, not her coffee.
Well, yes. Yeah. Yeah. But it's like...
And it's nice out here. I mean, it's a little chilly.
A little bit, but...
But the sun beaming down.
But now, of course, the mama dog actually did really well last night.
Yep. We got him into her laundry room. And we got a big bowl of water. And she guzzled it.
Yeah,
down.
that was a lot of water,
she was
too.
Dehydrated.
Yeah.
And she just drank and drank and drank. Well, unfortunately, we had to go grocery shopping at the same time. So I told my mom, watch the dog, watch the puppies, keep our dogs away from those dogs. So I don't know how she's going to react.
Keep the cats away.
Keep the cats away. Just make sure she stays into the laundry room and make sure the little one doesn't go climbing in there before I know how Mama Dog's temperament was going to be.
Right.
She giggled because she drove her grandma insane trying to get in there.
Yes, she did.
So that was the quickest grocery shopping we've ever done.
Yeah.
45 minutes. We got in and out.
Yeah, we were like a pit crew at a NASCAR event. It was great.
All right, I'll get this. Okay, I'll get this. And
yeah, there's this cart in the middle of the aisle and 2 people running back and forth. It looked like a game show, like a shopping cart game show.
And that was us.
Uh-huh.
We wanted to get back to the mama dog and puppies.
Now, I put a slip lead on the mama dog later that night to take her for a walk. Unfortunately, she wasn't potty trained. I don't think that she's really ever lived in a house. One thing you didn't mention is she does have a lot of scars on her head.
Yes.
So we don't know.
She has scars on her head and all over her body. Now, she to me could be a mix of many different things. Definitely majority is pit bull.
Yeah.
Or a pit bull type dog, like an Amstaff of some sort. But she also looks like she's part Shar-Pei with how dark her muzzle and how wrinkly her muzzle is.
Yeah,
her
you
muzzle's
went
not
that,
very long.
and I went lab.
Well, see, labs have more of a narrow face since they've been so overbred. Their muzzles are narrow now. But hers is short like a pitty does, but more wrinkles like a Shar-Pei.
What's funny is that people who are watching this right now in front of us, they're all seeing what we're seeing.
Like, no, they're
right.
This breed.
That's it.
This
That's
breed.
it. Yeah.
Why can't you guys see it? This breed. And then you look at the puppies, and 2 of the puppies have a spitting image of a Rottweiler. And I told Chris, I'm like, I want a Rottie.
Oh gosh.
But who knows what the puppies really are and what they're going to look like in a couple weeks. So.
No, I was saying this. So
yeah.
I'm sorry. I went in a tantrum and it brought you in with me to put the slip lead back on her, and we went for a walk.
Yeah.
Like I think I already said, she's not potty trained. So walking her around didn't do anything. I walked her down the street. We have a bunch of residential. It's all suburban. So I was like, okay, well maybe she'll bake on a lawn of some sort. Never did. But what really caught my attention, and this is something that's a little bizarre to me, but she walks so well on a leash. She stayed right by my side. When I walked, she walked. There was never a pull. There was never a movement that was out of place. She was perfect on a leash. I mean, we have well-behaved dogs that do not work on leashes. They do not work well with them. This dog was perfect.
Yep.
So she may have had leash time at some point, but there had been possibility, discussed before. She might have been part of a fighting, situation.
She could have been just abandoned at that that house, and that's how it happens. The people could have just totally moved and left a pregnant dog behind, saying, "Oh, it's an animal and can fend for himself." There's a lot of things that could happen, so it's best not to focus on speculation.
Well, yeah, no, but we're trying to figure things out of what happened, who she is, stuff like that. Great dog, though. Great dog.
She was fantastic. She was fantastic, absolutely fantastic with Claire. When in the morning time, we let her kind of run the house a little bit and put Roxy in her room. Kept Katana and Belle out because Katana and Belle
they're good with
other dogs right off the bat.
Except Katana was getting jealous.
Katana was getting a little jealous. Yes, she didn't like Mama Dog trying to get up on her couch.
Yeah. On
her chair.
Yeah,
my chair that I sit in.
Yeah.
Or I like to sit in the most. Katana lays there when I'm gone.
She also lays on the couch though.
Yes.
It's kind of.
But Mama Dog tried to get up onto the chair, and Katana was like, "Hey, that's my spot." And she would come over, she's wagging her tail slowly, and she looks at me, she looks at her, she looks at me, she looks at her, and then she cocks her head and looks at
It was pretty funny.
It was just dog language, like, "Mom, are you really going to let her do that?"
That's my spot. This is my prep station.
So, and poor Katana, she's going through a shed, so she looks absolutely homeless right now. We need to brush her when we get home. But
our lives are not normal, and they're not.
She's looking pretty homeless.
There is very little downtime, it seems like.
And Katana heard the babies, and she didn't mind. Katana just looked at Mama like, "Hey, what's up? What you doing here? You must be just squatting for the night. Have a good ride."
Well, they're so used to this. Now, this is our largest number we've ever had.
And luckily, it was just overnight. I mean, I would love to have kept him longer, though. Honestly.
I would have done longer, but what makes it difficult is the fact that they aren't potty trained. I mean, you're not going to potty train a 2-week-old puppy.
And mamas take care of that part.
In a sense, yeah, but they still pee.
They clean it up. Mamas clean it up. That's why there's no little tiny turds everywhere.
True.
It's all Mama.
That's true. And we talked about that before.
Yeah,
I think that was last week we were talking about that.
Yeah. Mama cleaned up after the puppies. We had to clean up after Mama. But the puppies were just hilarious. They're sitting there playing. They're biting on each other's muzzles. They're...
Oh, yeah. That was hilarious.
There's two of them that are absolutely ridiculously feisty.
Oh, boy.
I mean, they're growling. They're barking. They're full of just
it was great.
And vinegar.
It was
it's
great.
Hilarious.
Drive out here, we're 100 and some miles away. I don't know the exact number, but
I think we're like
130? Yeah, something around that.
Yeah, I think we're 130
Jinx,
miles away.
Minnesota.
130 miles away from home.
We're not gonna do 22 Jump Street.
And
great twist. On what? Sorry. We had to put a movie line in every podcast. You forgot.
Anywho, so when we were feeling a little more comfortable with Mama Dog, we let Claire go around her a lot more. She laid her head on Claire's lap.
Yeah.
And any dog, not a pit bull, not a Rottweiler, not any other dog, any dog in general, we're not going to just, "Hey, here's my 7-year-old. Go play."
It's very rare for that to happen.
Okay, let's see how she does first, little by little, and we are within a second to where we can either push the dog off of Claire or we can pull Claire before the dog
nothing can happen to Claire.
But trust me, we have been doing stuff like this long enough.
So long.
And I've been doing this for long enough. I've been doing this for my almost my entire adult life. And I know how to get situations under control very quickly.
Well, we deal with aggressive dogs on a weekly basis. I think we kind of have that moment.
Yeah. And both of us don't mind putting ourselves in front of those teeth.
Happens all the time. It's kind of natural now.
I do it to you, you do it to me.
Yeah, whatever.
But she just loved Claire. She put her head right on Claire's lap, looked up at her. I had Claire give her some treats, and she ate it up.
I feel bad on this side. I mean, obviously we have no room to keep her, but she did have a interesting connection with our place. She felt very comfortable.
Yeah, she walked around. She went in the front room.
Yeah, she was definitely comfortable. I mean, it was hard. It's hard to take in these dogs. This is where you know, you've been listening to us this whole time. You've been through a lot of fostering, a lot of different things like this. It's always very hard.
And even though we had him for less than 24 hours, I got so attached.
And I kept it business this time. I made a point. I had to keep it business because honestly, the last one we had, I felt terrible when it was being fostered out and it was picked up. Sid.
Sydney?
Yeah, Sydney. When Sydney left, I felt that absence, and I even said it right here on the podcast. This is why I hate doing this, is because I attach myself to these dogs. Luckily, I mean, I would have loved to have kept one of the puppies. I would have loved to have kept Mama. You know, but how do you continue to do what we're doing when we
Keep
can't?
'em all.
Yeah, we can't keep them all. You got to keep this going. And like I just said, this is our largest bundle so far, and it's hard. It's hard to say goodbye.
Claire had the hardest time. Bless her heart. 7 years old. She had a puppy in her hands, and she was done.
Yeah, that was it.
There was an immediate bond.
One and done.
She knew which one she liked the most. She knew the exact one, I mean, within seconds.
Yep.
She knew the exact one that climbed up on her lap, and then.
Had to be the yippiest one though.
Yeah, right.
It's like, oh boy, this is one reason why I'm glad we're not adopting one, because we would have the right. That could have been absolutely fun.
I mean, their faces look like a little ice cube. You know, like the rapper Ice Cube.
If you don't know who we're talking about, Google.
Yeah, Google Pitbull and
or the chief of
Ice
police, the head guy in 21 and 22 Jump Street.
Yeah, but if someone doesn't know who Ice Cube is, then
Well, I just kind of helped out on that.
IMDb.
Yeah.
There you go.
So dogs are here, you know.
But, no, I was talking.
And I had something else I wanted to throw in there. There was a message that I have to remind you on. So, okay, go on.
Okay. Folks, get your kids into helping early. They need to learn to build up a thick skin.
Yeah.
When it comes to this, it was extremely hard. Claire, squirted out a few tears.
Quite a few tears, actually.
Had a few heartbreaks and doesn't understand her emotions right now. But we're starting her young, so when it's older and she has a chance to do stuff on her own, it won't be as a Band-Aid ripped off.
Right, it was traumatic. Well, she remembers Lily and Melody. That was hard on her too.
And
She
Sydney
loved them.
was real hard.
Sydney was hard on her. So we've definitely had our list of dogs that have come through. She's gonna get used to it. She knows that we just saved 10 lives. And that right there, that's the reward. Now I wanted to actually, while we're here and while we're doing this, I gotta mention and then I'm gonna sidebar it and then we're gonna jump into it. But one of the things that is remarkable about these dogs, actually, mama dogs surviving, is where she was at. There's a lot of coyotes in the area. And so the fact that she was able to not be attacked by a coyote is absolutely amazing. Now, that brings on a topic that we actually, your message this week about a situation. One of our clients who comes in, her dog was actually picked up by a coyote. Now, in a lot of areas, we all know coyotes can take any kind of small dog, and if they get your small dog, there's really no chance of survival. Or cat. Now, do you have everything set up? No?
Yes.
Yes? Okay, go ahead.
I was contacted by one of my customers. I just groomed her dog, Elmo. He's a Morkie. Small. Well, she called to let us know that Elmo was attacked by a coyote. And pretty bad shape. They didn't know what was going on, but they rushed him to the vet. And the veterinarian said it is extremely unlikely for a dog of this size to survive a coyote attack.
Right.
Coyote attack.
Coyote. You can go either way. Okay. A lot of people like to go coyote.
Okay. Well,
I think that's more like a Arizona, New Mexico kind of deserty type coyote.
One's like
or cartoon.
Die and dice, you know what I mean? But he was still alive. Emma was still alive when the coyote picked the dog up by its neck and started dragging it into the woods. Someone caught him in time. The coyote dropped it and took off. someone rushed over to get Elmo. And because of that, Elmo is expected to make a full recovery.
Which is amazing.
Yes.
And she asked, mention this and PSA it out there. So if you live in an area that has coyotes.
I know California was real bad. Where we lived in Fullerton, up in the hills, coyotes were everywhere.
Yes.
But she learned something, and she wanted us to pass it along to as many people as we can, is that during January through March is the worst time for attacks. It's their time where they breed the most, so they need to hunt more. So between those times through January and March, make sure you keep a closer eye on all your pets, especially if they're off leash and they're running around. You probably don't want them out if they can't handle their own. We have a customer that comes in. She used to have a dog named Chevy. Chevy is an Airedale. Chevy is a big Airedale. And Chevy loved running the countryside.
Yeah.
And there's been times where she took care of a whole coyote pack from trying to attack their smaller animals that were on the farm. And this Airedale took care of it. Well, the Airedale can handle it. Airedale is huge. Morkie, Shih Tzu, Pomeranian, no. Even some small beagles can't do it either. Just keep an eye on them. Honest to goodness, keep an eye. If you really care for your pet, just go, oh, well, it's not going to happen here. Because it
can't happen to me. Yeah, that's very true. I know when we're leaving work, sometimes as we're driving back out to the main street, I'll have a coyote jump in front of the car. In a sense, it won't be that close. It'll be 50 feet ahead. It'll run across the road, and it's so fast. I mean, they do not mess around. They're there and gone with.
You know what's not fast? Turkeys.
seconds.
Turkeys crossing the road are not.
Finding
quick.
out that they're sociable is a weird thing. That's another story for another time. All right. Well, let's dive into this week's GND news. All right, well, this week on GND News, we have two stories as we do. First story comes from Southern California, and a PSA for all of you who live in drier climates that are having excessive rain. And the second one comes from our friends up in Canada. Great story. It's been trending very heavily on Facebook, Twitter, social media, and all forms. Great stories in there. So let's dive into our first one in Southern California. So Claire, play that clip.
Glenn and Lou, as if we don't have enough to worry about with El Nino. You've got the mudslides, the flash floods, now potentially deadly mushrooms to throw into the mix. And you may remember back in September, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, his dog actually died this way from eating a poisonous mushroom. Drought-stricken Southern California desperately needs El Nino and its rain, but the downside to too much moisture and soggy soil means mushrooms popping up everywhere.
You'll see most of our mushrooms coming out about 10 days after good rain, and you'll see them in areas under trees. Sometimes you'll see them in lawns, and they come up because they like to spread their spores.
But these mushrooms we found with the director of horticulture at the Descanso Botanical Gardens have potentially deadly consequences should our four-legged friends eat them. And that's both surprising and worrisome news to dog owners.
I think that's horrible. Do you know what some of the symptoms are?
Vomiting, diarrhea, drooling. Please call your veterinarian and seek care immediately.
Those are the main symptoms of gastrointestinal distress that the vet staff at the Rosemont Pet Hospital have been educating their clients about regarding toxic mushrooms.
If you think that your dog has eaten any mushrooms and you actually see the mushrooms, please pull them and bring them into the veterinarian, because then we can evaluate them and we can actually contact poison control. It's just that we aren't able to digest the chemicals that are in them, and they can go into our liver and kind of create compounds that make us sick.
A slab puppy will put anything in his mouth, including a mushroom.
Dog trainer Jim Lasky tells me he's even seen mushrooms pop up in the Crescenta Valley Dog Park and reminds dog owners to keep a close eye on their pets, even in a controlled environment.
You have to train the human, and that part of that means paying attention to the dogs rather than catching up on email and texting and stuff.
So here's what I've been told you should do if you find some mushrooms in your yard. You should put them in a brown paper bag and then wash your hands after that. Put them in the fridge and take them to the Los Angeles Mycological Society, and they will determine what types of mushrooms they are and if they're poisonous. Reporting live in La Crescenta, I'm Courtney Friel, KTLA.
Well, you know, it's funny because we've talked about this a few weeks ago with the lady who was walking her dog in Colorado with the pot brownie or cookie or whatever it was. We're always saying this: when you're walking your dog, don't have your phone up to your face looking at what's going on. Pay attention to what's going on around you. For one, you could trip and fall.
For one, you can get
severely hurt. You know, and I mean, I get it. My face is stuck in a phone all the time. But when, you know, whenever I'm in a situation where I'm holding our daughter's hand, crossing the street, walking the dog, if I ever have the dogs out on a lawn walk, I'm not playing with my phone because I am concerned about that.
Because if you fall and hurt yourself, and then
I'm SOL.
Dogs are terrible at bringing you medicine and measuring out stuff. I mean,
I don't have a lassie, that's for sure.
No posable. Anyhow, that was a good joke gone bad because I can't speak right now.
Wow, good job.
Too much caffeine.
Or not enough. So, I did not, you know, so much comes through on in the newsroom that I just don't have enough time to sit. I did not know, and maybe I did, and I forgot. I didn't know Dwayne Johnson. I always want to call him Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
And now it's just Dwayne Johnson. I didn't know that his dog died from, and as I'm thinking about it, I'm going, I remember the story.
I don't.
I remembered it and then I forgot about it. So
every time I see his picture, I just stare.
Wow, I do too. But I think to myself, man, that must take a lot of work every day to look like that. I just don't have the patience. I'm going the other direction when it comes to that.
Says a skinny man.
Skinny man that eats ridiculous amounts of things. That's why he's not eating the stuff I'm eating. I guarantee that. All right, let's move on to our next story. Our next story comes from Alberta, Canada. Now, I know you guys have actually seen the video. You had to.
If not, YouTube.
Yep, if not, you'll definitely see it at some point. I'm not even going to explain it. I'm going to let the reporter do it. So, Claire, play that clip.
I'm Natalie Hervick here in the Fox 8 newsroom. I don't know about you, but I'm a huge animal lover, and this story is just too sweet. We had to tell you about it. It happened in Alberta, Canada at the Barker's Pet Motel and Grooming. So they put this post on Facebook. Basically, a mama dog named Maggie, who you see right here, she recently had her own puppies adopted out. So she came to the rescue because she heard some crying and found out it was coming from two little puppies who were frightened and spending the first night there at the center alone. She wanted to go and spend time with them, so she let herself out of the kennel and then was found lying next to them in the room. How adorable is this? So a worker there said they have never seen anything like it before, where a dog sneaks out to some puppies and was just so excited to see them, and all three of them were put together and had some wonderful little cuddle time there at the care. And the best news about all of this, Maggie already got adopted out and has a forever home, and I'm sure these little puppies are going to be next.
Well, you know, you showed me the video that morning, which was funny. The video came out, we saw it on Friday morning.
And actually, my mom shared it on
Your
Facebook.
mom shared it, then you were like, oh, that's so cool. And you're like, you gotta watch it. So I watched it, and it was adorable.
It really was.
Now, there is a
adorable.
takeaway from this problem, though.
And then the puppies are left there to fend for themselves again because mama got adopted. Oh my
Womp,
god.
womp, womp.
And for it not to be her puppies. And I
I
guess
thought that was great.
She escaped multiple times.
No, only once.
No.
She got out once, that's what I understood.
The other report that I saw was that it got out multiple times.
How do you get out? How does the dog get out of its kennel?
Eli and Becca get out of their kennels all the time.
Well, I've seen, every so often I'll see because we don't spend a great deal of time in the boarding area, but every time I go back there for a nail trim or for any reasons, I do see every so often it says escape artist.
Yes, they climb.
Yeah, they'll climb. So, but even at that, I looked at the kennels in the video and it was like, how did they get out?
I don't know. See, with us, it's extremely rare because it's hard for us to get into those darn kennels.
Right? They never open. I'm always clink, 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 clink. I'm like, if I can't get into it, how's a dog without opposable thumbs to be able to get into it?
Well, Becca, she jumps, and when she jumps, she hits it with her nose, and she jumps and jumps and jumps, and finally when it gets up, then Eli goes and pushes on the cage.
So they're like Rugrats.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
folks, if you've never seen the Nickelodeon cartoon Rugrats, I'm sorry, you just lost out on that joke. But man, that was a perfect reference. Tommy Pickles and Chucky Finster.
Yeah, and Tommy Pickles with his
screwdriver. Yeah. I wish that, they really need to make that as an adult now.
But yeah, that
Oh
was
wait, now we got people from Nickelodeon listening to our show going, you know what, that's not a bad idea.
6 months later, it's gonna be out for the public.
Well, Powerpuff Girls come out this year.
Ooh,
Yeah. Of course, Scooby-Doo. If anybody way off. Oh, that's terrible.
But it's amazing the link a mama dog has to any puppy.
Yeah.
Roxy's the same way. She keeps going through false pregnancies.
We will talk about that next week. That was supposed to be this week's topic. It's been pushed.
Yeah, too much going on right now.
Yeah, well, we don't want to make these shows too long. We want to make them about an hour. We've had not you guys talk to us about it. We've had other people that actually work in production say, "Oh, you shouldn't have it so long." Well, you know what? There's a lot of things we got to cover.
There's a lot of bantering we got to get over first.
Well, we got a lot of facts. No, we've got a great deal of facts.
It is impossible to keep us on track.
That is
like
very
right now,
true.
we're talking about it right now.
I know, we're off topic talking about bantering and being off topic. Great, there you go. All right, that concludes G&D News for this week.
I want you folks put your paws together for Guess the Breed. Guess the Breed. With your host, Chris Green.
Hello, contestant, and welcome to Guess the Breed.
You startled me. I didn't know we were starting.
Well, you always got your phone up to your face as you're recording.
Hey, watching dogs figure out how to use stairs is hilarious, okay?
I'm going to take your phone away when we actually do this.
I'm going to take away the phone.
All right, this week we are going back to our famous actors of the Golden Age and their famous dog that they had. Aren't you excited?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I keep saying I'm going to have, special guests come on and do Guess the Breed, but I have yet to actually find the time. That's been the fun part. All right, this week we are going to actually look at Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. They were two of Hollywood starlets back in the day. These two were absolutely the famous. They were the Brad and Angelina of their time. And this is, just a whole different era. All right. Now, they've also, let's see. I'm not going to go through everything. We're going to make this simple. But they both shared a famous dog. It's not on there. So let me go over the attributes of their dog that they found to be their love of their life. All right. Let's start with, it is not a hypoallergenic dog. Lifespan is between 10 to 12 years. Temperament, playful, devoted, bright, loyal, energetic, friendly, calm, cheerful, confident, fearless, brave, intelligent. The weight of the female is between 55 to 60 pounds. Sounds like a supermodel if you ask me. And the male is 66 to 71 pounds. The height of a female is 21 to 24 inches. The male is 22 to 25 inches. Colors are fawn, brindle, and white. Any idea?
That's it? Fawn, brindle, and white?
Yep.
That's it?
That's it.
There's no red. No blue.
Well, that's what I have in front of me. I'm going to give you what's in front of me. And the dog's name, this particular dog's name was Harvey. In a quote by Humphrey Bogart, he said Harvey was really smart. He knew he wasn't allowed to get on the furniture, so he would only put 2 paws on at a time, and he would sit between us if we had a fight.
Oh, jeez.
I know, right? Isn't that awesome?
Wow. Let's see. Do I groom him very often?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Ever?
It would be more of a me dog. And I don't even know if I might have one or two.
See, I would say, I don't know. I'm lost here. You gotta give me something else.
That's what I got. While you're thinking, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. They were the Hollywood love story of their era, meeting on the set of To Have and Have Not. The 45-year-old Bogart fell for the 19-year-old, wow, that's just robbing the cradle, isn't it? Lady, within weeks. A reaction that was shared by them widely public. When she delivered the iconic line, "You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You put your lips together and you blow." I bet that was really pornographic back there. I bet it was. Boy. The comparison to Bogart's 3 previous marriages. Wow, he was really getting around, wasn't he? 3 marriages. Their 12 years together were happy and contented with shared passions, outweighing conflicts of interest. A key common ground was a mutual love of dogs. Bogart had owned a wide array over the years, including a vast Newfoundland, a terrier called Cappy, a couple of Sealyhams, and Scottish Terriers. In the 1941 film High Sierra Zero, Bogart's frizzly-haired mutt of undetermined breed played the key role of Pard. With such a that was the cast again. The same year in Law of the Timber, Bacall's dog history featured the dogs. That doesn't make sense.
They probably didn't write it right.
Right? Featured a Champagne Cocker Spaniel called Droopy and his daughter Poodle. So I guess they had a daughter. But have you figured out what the breed is? Do you need me to read it again? What the attributes were? Or do you have
Does the ears stick up or they lay down?
Kind of like, you know, kind of like that. I know the people at home can't see what I just said. Again, not hypoallergenic, lifespan is 10 years, temperament's playful, devoted, bright, loyal, energetic, friendly, calm, cheerful, confident,
But the
fearless, brave, intelligent.
It's driving me nuts.
I mean, there is a red, that's for sure.
Is there a blue? Kind of gray, really.
You could find it in some of the white, probably. Well, why don't you give us an answer?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, I could say it would be
I want an answer.
some kind of bully, but I don't know.
That's not the answer I'm looking for. What? Give me a breed, please.
American Staffordshire Terrier.
It's all there, black and white, clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got it wrong. And I thought I picked the easiest one. It was a boxer. She's not gonna be stopped.
No, they come tricolor.
Hey, I'm reading what the attributes were.
No.
I read
tricolor.
it. No.
They're black, red, and white.
Folks, if you pay attention to our
black,
shows
red,
every
and
week,
fawn.
whenever she gets it wrong, she does this. And she's gonna do this on the entire ride from Illinois all the way back home.
And technically, they're supposed to be cut to where they stick up. Boom.
Well, thank you for playing Guess the Breed.
And now a moment with Claire.
Hello, Claire. This week you have had a very busy week. You actually had your story put in the newspaper this week for you going
on the fire truck.
Well, that was what I was talking about. You on the fire truck.
That was the newspaper too.
That's what I was talking about. So that's been exciting as it is. But what I really want to talk to you more about than anything else,
the puppies.
Exactly. Tell us about you and the puppies and Mama Dog.
Yeah, there was actually a couple dogs that slept on me. When I was in the washroom, I had some dogs get on me and sleep. The black one, the black girl, was on me. She's a sleepy girl, and so is the gray one. I held her when we was I held her when she was at her house.
You mean her new house?
Yeah, her new house. So when Mommy and Daddy found her, the mama dog and her little baby dogs,
her
puppies were in a garage all alone with no parents.
Well, Mama dog was in there, but that's typically how it happens.
Yeah, but no people parents.
No, the garage was actually abandoned. Well, it was just a vacant house. But anyway, sorry, I'm losing my voice here. So
Because you sing too much.
Yeah, that's another story. So anyways, what's your emotions right now about the dogs being brought to a foster home?
Well, it might be sad that you have to leave the puppies. I know it's sad that puppies have to go to another home, but it's we don't get to keep all of them because we only have like 3 dogs and 3 cats.
Well, if we actually kept them, we couldn't help other dogs and cats out there that need our help.
Yeah, we can't keep them or...
And trust me, I would have loved to have kept a puppy. They were so cute.
Yeah, but we can't take one of the mama dog's babies.
Very true.
Yeah, you only if you want to keep a puppy, you have to keep all of the puppies and the mama dog.
If we had the room, I think we would have.
we only get 3 dogs. That's a promise.
Well, was it a really interesting day from last night to today? Was it really interesting seeing all that how to go into this?
Yeah, I got one in my room. The puppy walked in my room. I let it take a walk and explore in my room. So actually, I couldn't eat the garbage. Not the puppy, the mama dog. You don't know about the mama dog.
Mama dog wanted to stay with you. She was really, really protective towards you. She wanted to be right by you.
Yeah,
she was like that. She was like really happy here. She seemed really happy.
Yeah, because I took care of the babies and her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, you actually helped save all those lives.
Yeah, so that's why the mama dog likes me. Mm-hmm. I saved her babies and her.
Right. Well, thank you for being part of this week's Moment with Claire.
And this was a Moment with Claire.
Well, it seems like that's going to pretty much do it for this week. We wanted to kind of tighten everything up because we knew that this story was going to be one of our biggest ones. We were going to actually kind of put something else in this week, but we knew this was a main story. So we wanted to talk about this lovely rescue that we were part of. We really want to thank the foster family who, right away stepped in to say, hey, we'll be there to take care of these 10 dogs. This was a very remarkable, rewarding situation.
Yes, it was for sure. Someone contacted Jewel, who worked with the rescue coordinator, and found this rescue up here in Illinois that's going to take them on, which means that most of the time the foster family, they pick up the dog food, but any kind of vetting or any kind of placement of the dogs, the rescue pays for. So it's always, there's help there when you want to foster through an actual organization. There's support. It's not like, oh, they're going to dump a dog on your doorstep and you get to find it at home. No. But this is such a rewarding feeling. I suggest everybody do it at least once.
Well, that's what we always want to say. We lead by example. Whether we're doing our, things locally or we're traveling to other places, this is part of what we do. And by broadcasting it through a podcast, it's a way of sharing what we're going through and what we're doing, and hopefully encouraging everybody to get out there and make a difference. I mean, we've changed the lives of 10 lives in just a matter of a day. That right there is a reward in itself.
Yep.
And we didn't mention this, we left the foster family a box of food, very good quality food, and some dog treats. So Mama Dog is covered for a little bit now.
Yeah, Shadowwood gave them a box of samples of the Diamond Natural adult large breed chicken and rice. And then we gave them 2 bags of treats. One was already broken into that we gave her,
but still
on the treat on the ride. And it was, everybody pulled together. And luckily, we just so happened to have a vehicle big enough We don't mind driving. Gas is ridiculously cheap at what, 129 is what we filled up?
139.
139 that we
Yeah.
filled up at?
It's a lot more here though.
Yeah, it's like 159.
Yeah, no, 164.
No, that doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Well, I thought to myself, my gosh, we paid 30 cents less.
Yeah, that's pretty
That was
insane.
crazy.
But we're able to do it. And you know what? I would much rather give my last dollars to a pup that in need
Yeah,
than just to go on a cup of coffee.
that's true. And you know what? We're on our way to St. Louis now. At least for a little bit.
Just to drive around. Might as well.
I got a stop to make.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
The vintage stock.
You darn right, the vintage stock.
It's an adult toy store.
It's a kid toy store. It's got every kind of video game
Well, that
you
kind of
can
sound
imagine.
like that sound a little dirty.
Well, that's
It's
because
an adult video game store.
they have Nintendo games,
But
Sega
kids-
Genesis, retro toys.
I have to keep you and Claire on a leach in that place.
You are not gonna. This slip lead that's on my neck. That was for the dog. That is going in the car. I am gonna go Girls Gone Wild in that place.
Woo! Woo!
Rub Sprinter! So anyways, by that sound, obviously Claire has turned on the applause sign and is just saying, get off of the stage. Illinois is kicking you out. Well, again, thank you, Illinois, for accepting us for this brief moment and letting us record a podcast. That was a lot of fun to be.
And they've been really nice to us so far.
Yes, but they're actually telling us that our time is done and get out of their state.
Kind of like what everybody does to us anyway.
Yeah, well, we're people without a state now.
Two podcasters.
Two podcasters abandoned by their states.
All right, let's go.
Yeah. All right, I'm Chris Green. Have a pet-tastic week.
And I'm Sarah Green, making sure everybody realizes life is so short. Play with your pet.
Claire.
Have a good day with your pet. Goodbye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, gotta go in my bedtime.
Was without doubt the worst episode ever. Rest assured that I was on the internet within minutes, registering my disgust throughout the world.
All right, good show, everybody. That's a wrap.